Governor, State Bank, Jamil Saab, Deputy Governors, Bank's Presidents, members of the media, and guests. Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. I've been conferred the honor of talking about Sadequain Saab's association with the State Bank. We're going to look at some of his works and how they came about. It's coincidental that we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the State Bank, which is one day after Sadequain Saab's birthday, which is June 30th. So June 30th was Sadequain Saab's 93rd birthday, and July 1st was the 75th anniversary of the State Bank's founding. So it is momentous, but also somehow how the universe sort of brings everything together. Now, as Qadir Saab spoke about the history of the State Bank, I will not get into that. But when the State Bank moved from the building that was on Engle Road, which was previously occupied, it moved into this building right here. And to add artworks to this building, Shujaat Hasnie Saab, who was the governor of State Bank, requested Sadequain Saab to become the artist in residence and create the artworks that you have seen. Now, this was of course, the design that was put forward as an art piece, not the actual design. Now, Hasnie Saab, of course, was a very cultured man, and he wanted an artist to represent Pakistan's important institution. But why did he choose Sadequain, who was only 31 years old at that time? There were other artists that were far more senior, had been around for a bit longer. But there were three principal reasons. The first reason was that by the time this event happened in 1961, Sadequain was already very well established in Pakistan. He had already exhibited with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Hussain Shoaib Sarwar. He had hosted an exhibition of Sadequain in 1956. He was also already the person known for executing murals. So there was a mural that he had made at the Services Club, at the airport, at the Mangla Museum, and various other places. So because murals was such an important part of this exercise, he had an advantage over the other artists. And lastly, it was that he was a winner of the Paris Biennale of 1960. Now, for a young artist to win an award at the most prestigious art capital of the world, the most prestigious award for a young artist, that was a great honor for Pakistan, and that really highlighted him. And the work that won the award was this one, The Last Supper. Now, The Last Supper has been painted by many great artists, including Leonardo da Vinci. This particular painting is in a church in Milan. And so this was an abstract version of this one. And this abstract figure over here is Jesus Christ. And we can identify him as Jesus Christ because of this halo. You can see the halo over here, which is how you represent figures. But because Sadequain was a Muslim, he didn't want to show figures from Islam. He chose the abstract path. So this was the winner, and this was the winning entry, and he was given the charge. There are 4 murals that he made. We're going to go through each of them. But essentially, the first one and the largest one that you will see right when you enter this wonderful museum that Dr. Asma has set up is Treasures of Time. It's very, very famous. And the Treasures of Time talks about people who in the history of man have added to man's knowledge. And this is a recurring theme in Sadequain's works. You're going to see this in the Lahore Museum ceiling, you're going to see this in the Fair Hall ceiling, you're going to see this in the Mangla mural, about man's endeavors to understand the universe and to contribute to creation, add knowledge. You can see he's very much in his element. He's got his ashtray, he's got a cup of tea, he's sitting over there. And this is, of course, when he was at the artist residence. And this work was being made on the 6th floor, not here, but in the main building on the library floor. The interesting thing about this work is, unlike most artists, Sadequain was focused on also celebrating the golden age of Islam. So while the mural has Newton and Socrates and Descartes and various thinkers from West, He was also focused on talking about Muslim scientists or people from the Islamic golden age or Arab scientists. So we have Ibn Rushd, we have Ibn Sina, Al-Tarabi, and many others. So you can see many of them, and they're represented by their instruments. You can see the globe here by Al-Farabi and all that. Now, interestingly, Sadequain liked to place himself within a certain time period. He did not think of him as an artist. He used to think of him as himself as a displaced in time dervish, as if he could occupy different territories. So he also made himself the fasting Buddha, which you will see in other places. But he's placed himself in this painting also. And this figure, this rather lean and emaciated figure that you see here is Sadequain himself. And he is being sort of diagnosed by Al-Razi, the famous Arab Muslim doctor. So he's checking his pulse like a Hakim would, and this is himself. So he's left himself in his piece, so he's immortalized for all time. And again, you can go up there and see this for yourself. The second mural is a celebration of science, nature, and discovery. It's called the Laboratory of Natural Universe. And originally, before moving to the museum here on 1st of July 2011, we saw the inauguration, it used to be on the executive floor in the main State Bank building. And again, the theme is man's discovery. You can see this figure, he's bent over. He's got a magnifying glass, and he's looking at the earth, but also eventually you're going to see that he's going to reach up and reach out for the heavens. The other two murals are called Agriculture Industry, and there are two of them. So there's Agriculture Industry 1 and 2. This particular one is in abstract. You can see that it celebrates commerce by talking about industry, which is on the left. You can see the smoke billowing from factories. And on the right, you have the agriculture. You can see various crops. And these two figures, when they come together, they create wealth. So one is giving the other person the other thing. And of course, this is the nature of Pakistan. We're an agri country which produces goods and also then industry. And this was the progress of a young nation. Now, Sadequain was also chosen for this task because at that time Pakistan's GDP was high. It was being seen as a modern progressive nation under President Ayub Khan, and they wanted someone to represent that side of the country. This figure over here, I don't know if you can see it properly. I hope I'm not blocking it. In this one, you can see again a similar thing. So on this side are the factors of production, the gold and silver mines, and the goods that are coming from agriculture produce. And on this side, you can see that being created into wealth. So this is all silver and gold. This is all silver and gold. And again, these two ladies are creating that wealth. And it's interesting that Sadequain was celebrating women in the wealth creation and not just men. This particular chariot was made on the sixth floor, and as you can see, it's right there in the entrance in the State Bank building. The people on the top here are working. They're carrying things. If you can see them, they're working. This over here, and it's a progression of people towards progress. And the wheels are, of course, coins. Now, this chariot was inspired by the chariot race of Ben-Hur. And Sadequain had seen Ben-Hur, the great movie, won 11 Oscars. He had seen the movie in Paris, and he was inspired by that very, very famous chariot race. It's one of the greatest scenes of cinema. And so this is sort of a homage to that scene. These collage figures were to be placed in the square pillars of the banking hall. So the pillars are square. You can imagine them being placed one by one. Again, they're abstract figures, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all working and creating things. You can see the lady over there. She's got a wheat stalk in her hand. It's being created into wealth. You can see the fires of the factory. You can see the burning sun. The idea is continuously the same. Man creates